The City Commission meeting, our first City Commission meeting of the year, January 3rd, 2023. We're going to call to order. May we have the roll call? Public forum, who's your first speaker?
Former Commissioner Lauren King, please. You handed it in first.
Can we please shut the door in the back?
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Lauren King. I'm here tonight as Commander of Sergeant David G. Ledgerwood, American Legion, Post 255 here in Deltona. With me this evening are some of our post officers and corps members of the Legion. I'd like for them to stand up so you can see who they are. These people do a lot of work here in the city, all of it volunteer, and all of it for our veterans and their families and for the community. No matter how I cut this, my presentation, when I read it, was about 10 minutes long. So I've given you all copies of my presentation, and I'm going to try and get through the first paragraph and the last paragraph, and you can fill in the blanks with what I've given you about what we're doing in the city of Deltona. We're actually here this evening primarily to thank the Commission for their 6-0 consensus vote at your last meeting, giving the interim city manager authority to work with our post to occupy the unused portion of Deltona Veterans Memorial Park to build an American Legion post home. This land is adjacent to the east side of the park and is approximately 2 to 2.5 acres. I've spoken to several of you privately concerning this property, and I believe we are in agreement. It's the best and most appropriate location for the American Legion. In addition, I've met with Pat Northey about ECHO funding to develop the back part of the property to be compatible with the ecotourism and eco funds or ecosystem of our city. She's indicated that there are, quote unquote, no red flags in our plan, and that eco funds may be available when we're ready for that part of our development. When completed, this location will not only be a center for over 7,500 veterans and their families living in Deltona, it will also be a destination for our guests and all the residents of the city of Deltona. I've given you information on what we're doing in the community for our veterans, what we're doing in the community for the city of Deltona, and also information on what we intend to be doing once we have the facilities on that location. So I will just end what I have to say with this. When the Mackle brothers developed Deltona, as our history reflects, they donated land to several 501c organizations, churches, civic organizations like the Women's Club, Gun and Country Club, and others. There was also some other groups that were provided with land. But no land in the city of Deltona has ever been provided for a military service organization. The American Legion Post 255 was first chartered in Deltona in July 1967, and on July 9th, 2011, Deltona Post 255 was renamed Sergeant David G. Ledgerwood Post 255 in memory of the first Deltona son to be killed in action during the Vietnam War. We are now beginning 2023, and it's time to recognize and honor the...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Richard Bellick, please.
Almost got it. Down to the last line.
My concern tonight is this fear of residents coming to City Hall, which is a complete fallacy, a lie, and a made-up story. This is not if-a land. This is a land of reality. We have 5 qualified Sheriff's Department officers here, on hand, armed, to protect our citizens. To come with these stories week after week, people are scared to come. People are scared to come. I know of no one that's scared to come, and I know who makes these stories up. And I think it's a resentment against the sheriff's office because her husband lost the sheriff's department election, and that she's got a grind to axe. There's never been anybody seriously hurt. There's never even been a police report. These guys are well trained. Chitwood, I'm surprised at you. Come on, get out here, Mike. Defend your men. You always do it, and I'm proud of you. Defend your men. There's nobody scared to come here. This story, what is this, made up in a barroom? Now, secondly, Ms. Bradford, your property on Howland Boulevard has some trailers and a home store there, and you had a meeting
Point of order, sir.
to rezone your property.
Excuse me,
Sir.
Mr. Bellick, no personal attacks on people, please.
That's a personal attack?
Oh, you're,
Has it ever been rezoned? No. Not the records I got. But anyway, you got trailers, motorhomes there. You got $116,000
Sir,
from
point of order.
COVID. $116,000 from COVID in
Point
a
of
business that
order.
wasn't
If
even
you
open.
do not, you will be asked to leave.
Okay. Now let's get back to this fear-mongering that was made up. Now this is going to go back to being a personal attack. Your husband lost the election. Time to get it over with.
Mr. Bellick,
Time to get it
please
over with.
stay
Bury
on
the
topics
hatchet.
of interest
Go
of
to
the
Mike
City
Williams. Get his
Commission.
shovel.
If you can't, then we're going to have to, thank you.
Albert Bryan, please.
Evening. Hope everybody had a good Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. 2 things tonight. One, I have seen no update on Lakeshore on the website or on your Facebook page or anything for that matter. I'd like to see an update sooner or later given to the public about what we're doing about Lakeshore or what we're not doing about Lakeshore, since it's a major disaster. The other thing is I think we need a little bit more of an update than what we have on the web page as of right now for the flooding. It's a very basic update. That needs to be a little bit more intense as far as what we're updating, what streets are still flooded, what streets aren't flooded, what houses, or not what houses, but how many houses are still flooded, how many houses are not flooded now. Just a basic storm update as far as that was concerned. Like I said, it's very, very basic on the website. It needs to be a little bit more into it. My main concern, though, is getting a update soon, real soon, since it's been 4 months for Lakeshore. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, that closes public comments.
Thank you. Now we will go to roll call.
Commissioner Villa Vasquez.
Present.
Commissioner Burbank.
Present.
Commissioner Caldwell. Here. Commissioner Jody Lee. Present. Commissioner McCool. Here. Vice Mayor Bradford.
Here.
Mayor Villa.
He's absent.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn the meeting over now to our District 4 Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Mayor. It is my distinct honor to be able to present the invocation this evening, along with, we will then do the pledge to the flag. And out of respect, I would like to ask former Commissioner Lauren King, for old time's sake, to lead us in the pledge. And then we're going to have Miss Yaya Santos do our national anthem. So if you will, I would like to invite you to stand and invite my good friend, Mr. Brian Sanderson, to come up and do our invocation.
Testing. I'm Brian Sanderson from 3234 Cortland Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32738. We're gonna pray now. Dear Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we pray for our leaders to lead our shining city of Deltona in the right direction. Unite all of us and let all the fighting start, let all the fighting, arguing, and fighting, arguing, and thoughts stop. We pray for peace and economic good times. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I love y'all.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep, and God bless all yous, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Brian. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. King?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we're hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, I want to thank everybody for being here at our first meeting for the City of the Year. Hopefully, we're going to have a wonderful year this year. There's a lot of wonderful things happening in Deltona. So with that, we're going to go to item 5A, approval of our minutes.
Move to approve, Madam Chairman. Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Burbank and a second by Commissioner Jody Lee. Everybody in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Next item. I'm going to ask us all, we haven't done this for a while, I'm going to ask us all to go down on the floor. We're going to be given the awards for the parade, and it was quite the sight pulling up today between the lights and those gorgeous Jeeps outside. I mean, it still looks real festive out there. So let's everybody go down and go through the awards. this one on?
Should be on.
Okay.
You should draw a smile on it.
She got it?
All right, are we on here? Test, test? Okay, great. All right, so we're going to start with third place. And I ask that you guys please come up so we can get your pictures and you can get your beautiful trophies. So third place was actually a tie. We have the Iglesia del, I'm going to mess this up. Come on over here.
Iglesia Pentecostal, Iglesia del Nazareno, Nueva Vida, y Pentecostal Church of God, and My New Life.
Okay. Come on up. My Spanish isn't good. I'm not even going to try to butcher it. Yeah, do we have anybody here from the Pentecostal church? No? Okay. You want to do them all at the same time?
Yeah, get a picture with them.
All right. You guys come on over. Come on over. We don't bite. I know, Amelia. Come on up, guys. Let's get some photos. You guys have anything? Thank you for exhibiting and being in the parade. It's really part of. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
Go on that side.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. 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 No, you're fine. Come on in. Come on in. Come on up. Come on up.
Espérese, pastor. Aguántela.
Ah, yeah.
1, 2, 3. One more good luck. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
It was a challenge for us, honestly.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It was a challenge for us. We had 2 generators. We got there and nothing worked. So they were trying the whole parade. His arm is tired. And, but we kept going.
Thank
So
you.
we're happy.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So as you guys pulled up, you saw the lights in the display. So there is absolutely no question why these guys took second place. So let's bring up the Florida Jeep Girl Club.
We got one of them turkey.
I know, right?
Go, girls.
We're all giving hugs, unless you got COVID.
Nope, no COVID.
Come on in.
And she's a Jeep girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Is that your white Jeep out there?
Uh-huh.
No, you're good.
Come on in, come on in. Get in here. You guys want to hold it? You guys can You want to hold it?
That was it.
Trying to squeeze, 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 squeeze.
3 guys. 1, 2, 3. One more good luck. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
Now they're going to fight over which way they're going.
Oh, I already said I called it
She
first.
lives behind City Hall. She's like, I'm taking it home.
I'm the closest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Right. All right. First place, Trinity Christian Academy. You want to hand it to her?
It don't make a difference. I was
Yay! Girls, you want to come up? I know those jackets are Trinity Christian. Come on. Come on. Come over here.
I'm going to say I stood next to a superstar because Yaya's going to be famous one day.
Okay. She is. They both are, actually. They're both pretty amazing. Get in.
I'm good. I can see over. I'm good.
I'm here. I'm right. Yaya's almost taller than you.
Not almost.
Good job, my sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to give everybody a few minutes so it's quieter in here. Okay, next we're going to go to item 6B, presentation of quarterly reports of our City Advisory Boards Committee. Does anybody have any questions or comments? we have a motion? We don't need a motion on that, right? Does anybody have any questions on the oral reports?
I do. I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I just wanted to clear up if on, maybe this can be answered, on the Firefighter Pension and Planning Board, did we replace, the irreplaceable, I should say, Mary, but have we replaced, I don't remember hearing, go ahead.
That's coming up on the 17th.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor.
All right, let's go to 7, ordinances and public hearings. We have public hearing emergency ordinance number 02-2023, waiving the enforcement of several sections and a chapter of the City Code of Ordinance to allow residents whose properties have been damaged as part of Hurricane Ian and/or Nicole to reside at their properties in temporary housing, including travel trailers and recreational vehicles. Mr. Paradise?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Happy New Year. Ron Paradise, Community Services for the record. Ordinance number 02-2023 is an emergency ordinance that's intended to provide housing relief for those that have been impacted by the recent Hurricane Ian and Nicole events. The goal is to provide needy homeowners alternate on-site living arrangement options while homes are being repaired and/or remediated. This will allow on-site use of RVs and/or travel trailers or similar types of arrangements for living activities on site. While the use of these alternative living arrangements are intended to be temporary, there is anticipation, there's a possibility that these living arrangements may be used for up to a year with costs. All utility connections will need to be reviewed and/or permitted by the city or other applicable entities. The location of the temporary living units will be determined by site-specific conditions to include standing water presence, topography, building mass, location, to other uses, etc. And that's kind of why you see a wide range of sections of code cited as a result of this ordinance, because a lot of these deal with dimensional requirements and setbacks through the various zonings that these residential uses may be located in. Some figures just to contemplate, just to kind of remind you all, there were 920 incidents of damage recorded as a result of Hurricane Ian. About 160 of those were flooding. There were 500 damage events recorded in the aftermath of Hurricane Nicole. These are city numbers. The property appraiser has looked at primary structure damage, or they're actually continuing to look at that within the city, and there's about 250 structures that have, and these are primary structures, not fences, sheds, or anything like that, that have been impacted. Again, this is an emergency ordinance. It can be approved on one vote of the City Commission. City staff does recommend the Commission vote to approve ordinance 03-2023. I'll be happy to field any questions you all may have with regard to this.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Jody Lee.
And that is 02, sorry.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Paradise, how many people have requested to live in a trailer or temporary housing in their property so far?
I know of a couple already.
So now the code enforcement is going to be enforcing all these issues with the city or with the residents?
What you're going to see is you're going to see various entities be involved in the siting of these. It could be FEMA, where they come in and site these. It could be privately oriented, where, we know of one case where somebody actually went out and bought one of these things and started, I don't know what the status is, I haven't seen it, but, they wanted to live in it while their house was being repaired as well. Ultimately, any ordinance that has, enforcement is, it'll ride on the shoulders of code enforcement to enforce those. But, the intent of this ordinance is to allow a lot of flexibility with regard to, providing this this ability for people to live on site that are needy and they need this type of help.
Right. Now, out of who's going to make the decision whether they get a yes or no answer? I hate to see him seem like the bad guy on this one. I mean, but I want to know who it's going to be strictly enforced, because that way you're going to have a whole bunch of people in the city just saying, I need some, my family guy is affected somewhere else in Florida, so let's put a trailer in my front yard in Deltona. And then, because we already have an issue with a lot of enforcement issues that ain't taking place as we speak.
Yeah, and that you make a great point, Commissioner. And what this is going to be a site-specific situation, and there needs to be some sort of authentication that there's an actual demonstrated need for this, and that could involve FEMA. And FEMA has, specialists that monitor these situations that people are actively looking to find and secure permanent housing. And, the city will probably follow that FEMA model.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just worried about the concerns of it going too far, too much, and people taking advantage of a system. I want people to be taken care of and all the help they can get, but any of these different things are also government-run agencies, and everybody knows about, we all feel about a lot of government-run agencies. So I don't want it to get way off bounds and having all of a sudden, pet campers and temporary sheds and stuff put in these little mini houses in everybody's front yard. If they're going to be having to hook up to electric, sewer, septic, I mean, if you have city sewer, how do you propose that they're going to hook that up to city sewer if someone's got a trailer in their front yard? I mean, it opens up a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and we're going to need to look at these on a case-by-case basis, and your concern is duly noted.
All right.
Commissioner Caldwell. Okay. Commissioner Villa-Vasquez.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. First, I wanted to make a motion, but I just want to have a question tied into Commissioner Jody Lee's question. I guess we will be requesting some kind of proof that they have been given permission by FEMA that their home is not livable, and that's the reason why they're staying at this in the RVs. Am I correct? Is that what we're using? Yeah,
I think one of the metrics we'll use also is, what type of building permit applications have been made. That would certainly imply that there's some sort of damage.
And it's only for people who were affected by the hurricane. It's not somebody who wants to remodel their home because they don't like the way it looks now.
That is correct.
Okay. Mayor, Vice Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. If there are no more questions.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. May I?
Did you push your button? Is it working?
Oh,
That's fine. You don't have to, but I just...
there's buttons to push.
Yes. Just for future. That way you're definitely good. Yes, Mr. Burbank. Commissioner Burbank.
Great. Thank you. Pardon. The devil, Ron, in these kind of ordinances in the details, and I personally feel this is overly broad. We're temporarily waiving enforcement of Section 70-30, for instance. That's definitions. You can't just waive the enforcement of definitions. And it goes on through a number of zoning classifications and other things. And I think we're just asking for trouble there. I think I think it could be simplified with something along the lines of allowing temporary waiver from provisions contained within the Code of Ordinances restricting and/or limiting the use of whatever you want to call them as temporary live-in quarters, and that way it'll just cover everything without actually eliminating entire chapters from the Code of Ordinances. I'm just voicing an opinion. Would you care to comment on that?
We want to be as specific as possible to kind of, provide some parameters. That's why we looked at, the reason why definitions came up, there's definitions of travel trailer within the Chapter 70, also definition of yards and setbacks as well.
I get that, but what you're doing, you're throwing blood in the water. This is a temporary waiver from of entire sections of the zoning ordinance. Somebody could conceivably come in and says, oh, but you waived this, you're going to allow me to do this? And somebody in your department is going to have to say, no, you can't do that. And they're going to say, why not? Because you waived this. I can see it coming, you're asking for trouble. I think something a little less broad and a little more focus on just the matter at hand would be a lot more tasteful to me.
Understood, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and my only comments was in reference to what Commissioner Jolie brought up. We still have homes right now that are surrounded by water. Therefore, you wouldn't be able to put a trailer on property. I would not have a problem if somebody, instead of being homeless, was actually able to utilize the trailer, say at a parent's house, but again, I don't want it to see it taken advantage of, but I also don't want to not help the individuals that are already homeless. So I don't know how we can do this. I know you guys are probably going to have the last case, Go ahead, Mr. Chisholm.
I think the intent is to take those properties that were adversely impacted by the storm, and they're very easy to identify them. They're going to have C&D material outside their house because they had to tear out their walls, and that is our intent, is to serve that part of the community that has been distressed as a result of the storm. I don't think it's quite as complicated as it might seem. I know the staff goes through and very delicately tries to protect the city and the way that we administer it, but I'm sure that if someone's trying to take advantage of it, very easy for us to drive in and take a look at the property and determine that whether or not it complies.
Right, and I know staff's main intention is to make it as painless as possible for our residents, and so far they've done an awesome job on it. Commissioner Villavasquez, you wanted to make a motion?
I did. Again, that's the reason why I asked Ron if this was just for people whose homes were affected by the hurricane. So I don't know, maybe we have to rephrase the motion, to cover some of the comments that were made up here.
Yeah, we can look at that. Commissioner Jolie, you had a comment in reference to that too?
My thing is, in all honesty, it's an emergency ordinance. Is there an expiration date to the emergency ordinance?
Not as part of the ordinance. It could be active for up to a year.
Instead of adding more ordinances and government stuff, why can't Mr. Paradise just talk to these people that need it and he can make a decision as needed, instead of opening up a whole can of worms for everybody in the city to say, oh, I had water in my house?
And the director doesn't really have the purview to.
Between you and the city manager,
Yeah, again, I think this kind of memorializes what we're trying to do here.
They have to go by our ordinances. We can't say, hey, let's just waive it. They have to go by it so they can put this in effect for a short term. But yeah,
right.
They can't do that.
I understand. I don't know if you were going to make a motion, but I will. I'd make a motion if we could table it till the 17th so we can get some of the code things narrowed down and it's not just a broad overall to everybody. There's a lot of ordinances in there. There are a lot of different parts of the ordinance that are just getting skipped and ripped apart and overlooked.
Is this going to stop anybody that you have currently waiting on a housing?
I do not think so. We haven't had any formal. It's just been, inquiries.
I'd like to make a motion to table it until the next meeting the next meeting that we're going to have.
Commissioner Villavasquez, are you still on?
Well, I don't mind tabling it if it's not going to stop the city from helping somebody who really urgently needs this type of assistance.
Yeah, and FEMA has asked, FEMA has, actually the Department of Emergency Management kind of got started on this, and, they wanted some sort of clearance from the local government that have the option to bring in FEMA trailers on site. And that was some of the genesis of this effort as well.
And I'm sorry. And it's going to be just those individuals that were affected who have letters from FEMA and from construction companies and everything.
That is the intent, yes.
In the list
bona fide
saying,
hurricane damage.
Can't live in your house is this,
Yep.
your house is that, it needs to,
Right.
and FEMA Will that be enough, or?
Well, it would be, but I'm confused because I just asked Mr. Paradise if he has anybody directly that has asked him to do this, and he said no, but now he's saying that FEMA has asked for this.
Yeah, I'm
brought it up at the last
sorry,
meeting.
Commissioner. I kind of got confused there. I was thinking about specific cases, but we have been approached. I'm sorry. I kind of create confusion that way. We've been approached by Department of Emergency Management that this is, something that they would like us to look at to kind of waive some of the provisions to make this temporary housing possible.
If a motion is made, could you bring this back in 2 weeks that you actually have something now with the changes that have been discussed?
We have the ability to do that.
So can I make a motion saying I hereby move to adopt emergency ordinance number 02-2023 per instructions or certification from FEMA that these homes are inhabitable, can't get the word out, are not livable? Can something like that, that there's proof to be showed to the city?
We can they do that, Marcia? But I think we should probably go back and look at the language and massage the language somewhat to, make that clear, and then just bring it back.
We can't, if we feel like there could be somebody in jeopardy, we can, we can put that in, now therefore be it ordained by the City Commission of the City of Deltona that this only applies to properties damaged in the recent hurricane. If that makes everybody happy, we can stick it right in there and put that in. And then if we have other problems that come up, the only question I have is if that's good enough, do you still, Ron, do you want to hold all those sections in there, or you want to wipe them out right now, or you want to wait to wipe them out?
Well, I think we should hold the sections just for posterity purposes.
For posterity?
Yes.
Okay. So if that is acceptable, we can make that change, and then we can always come back and make further changes, because at least the limiting language is going to control at that now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Commission of the City of Deltona that this ordinance only applies to properties damaged in the City of Deltona in the recent hurricanes. That's it.
Right.
Is that good? Joyce, do you have that language, what I just said?
Yes. So I am going to change my motion according to what the attorney has mentioned. You got it, Joyce?
No, didn't, no.
You'll add it to that?
Yeah.
And it's basically the same thing Ron and I brought up in different words, right?
Right, yes.
It was only people affected by the hurricane. So, and the interim city manager has the authority to make correction to scrivener errors and the like.
You want to try to read that back, or? So basically, we're adopting the emergency ordinance with the changes pending that the city attorney discussed.
We're putting that change
Right,
I brought
with
up
those
today.
changes, right. We're
And then we can, because your next meeting, I think, is pretty in the end of the month, the last meeting you have in January, we can... 17th. We can go back and talk about, there was a lot of discussion about all these sections, so we'll go back and talk some more and see if perhaps besides this, at least this change, if FEMA came to the city and said, we have this situation, we have a trailer, their home is unlivable because of the hurricane, we can move forward with that property. And then in the interim, we can go through some of this language in here and determine if we need to remove it, and then we can bring it back. Is that acceptable to everyone? So at least we won't be stopping anybody who may be in need, but we can also refine it further for that last meeting.
Okay, Commissioner Burbank?
Thank you for that, and I know it's not acceptable, not to me at least. I worked in that part of the world for many, many years, and there are sharks out there, and you're throwing chum in the water. They'll take advantage of this any way they can, as quickly as they can. It needs to be, we can protect the city without striking, at least temporarily, huge parts of our code. No, I can't accept that, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, do we have another motion?
Which motion? I made one before about tabling it.
All right, exactly. So first, that motion just failed for lack of a second. Jody Lee, would you like to make another motion?
I'd like to make a motion to table it to the next meeting for ordinance number, the emergency ordinance number 02-2023.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Jody Lee to table it and a second by Commissioner McCool to table.
Do we want to continue to a time certain?
Yeah, we could do that. That would be better.
Would you like to, can you amend your motion to put it to a time certain?
17th?
I want to continue to the meeting on the 17th.
Okay.
You okay with that, Commissioner McCool?
Absolutely. So we can add more to the agenda for that day.
Great. Okay. You got that? All right. Do you have any public comments on that one? Just one? Okay.
Okay, Mayor, we have one. Albert Bryan, please.
Albert Bryan, Deltona. I wasn't even going to speak on this, but Section 1, waiver. The above referenced section and chapter of the Deltona Land Development Code is hereby waived for 180 days for residents who have suffered damage from Hurricane Ian or Hurricane Nicole. Isn't that what y'all were just discussing? That's actually in this. It says only for the people with damage from the hurricane. So that's either you're code enforcement certified or FEMA certified, according to the way your waiver is reading right now, without any more changes to it or otherwise. The one thing I would add is that when you look at this and you go out to a property, you don't want to be at fault for somebody actually parking on top of their septic tank and it falling in. That would be even a worse scenario than you have right now. But the way this reads, because it says for only damaged properties, I don't see a reason for continuing it at all.
Vice Mayor, that closes public comments.
Thank you. May we please have a vote?
The motion is
To continue it, will come up at the next meeting. The motion was to continue this until the next meeting. Motion passes 5-1 with Commissioner Villa Vasquez abstaining, or rescinding. Yes. Yeah, same. Voting no. Yeah, she didn't abstain. Okay. Old business, nothing. New business. We have a request for approval of resolution number 2023-03 and budget amendments for stormwater transportation, municipal complex, Deltona Water, capital equipment, replacement, parks projects, community redevelopment, state housing initiative partnership funds. Mary Lyson, our finance director.
Good evening. The agenda, Mary Lyson, Finance. The agenda item is a resolution and budget amendments for the budget for fiscal year 2023. And just a little bit of background, when we begin the budget process for 2023, it's usually in the middle of fiscal year 2022. The year has not finished yet. So projects are working. These are capital projects. So after the year closes, this is, we carry over the unspent funds so we can continue the projects into fiscal year 2023. So if you have a chance to review the budget amendments for the different departments and special revenue funds. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
No questions? Public comment? Okay. We need a motion and a second. Albert Bryan?
Albert Bryan, Deltona. Wow, every year, this is getting more and more long, this list is. There's two things I'm really concerned about. One is the carryover of CRA. Last year, you know, I really remember that before we approved the budget for last fiscal year, that we were wondering why the CRA, nothing was been done on it. And yet, if you notice, most everything on the CRA list is the same from last year. Makes me wonder how long they're going to keep carrying this over from year to year. Why is it not getting done? I have to wonder why a lot of stormwater wasn't done this year. Now, some of that I can understand for the last 3 months. I get that. Transportation. We were budgeted for $2.9 million. Oh, that's right, we're carrying forward $2.9 million. Okay, yeah. Means nothing got repaved this year at all. Municipal complex. Okay, we got new roads in here. What happened to the rest of it? Makes me wonder. Deltona Water really sticks out. That one was like a big sore thumb. We either need a clean house of every department head we have so we can get these projects done, or something needs to freaking change in this city. Because every year, every single year, we have huge amounts of money being changed from one year to the next. Makes a lot of us wonder if we're whitewashing it.
Any more comments? Okay. Motion?
Well, I want to make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-03 and budget amendments 2023-006, 2023-007, 2023-010, 2023-004, 2023-013, 005, 009, 0114 for the Stormwater Transportation Municipal Complex, Deltona Water, Capital Equipment Replacement Parks Projects, Community Redevelopment Area, and State Housing Initiatives Partnership Program funds for fiscal year 2022-23. And the interim city manager has authority to correct scrivener's errors and the like.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Jody Lee and a second by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. May we please take the vote? Motion passes 6-0. We have no consent. City Commission special reports and requests. Does anybody have anything?
I do.
Okay, Commissioner McCool and then Commissioner Jody Lee.
Hey there. Thank you very much, Madam Vice Mayor. I wanted to ask of the city manager, whoever the appropriate party is that we now have an uptake in COVID cases and flu cases. Would like to see the partitions up here reinstated, please. I also want to, something that I got in complete transparency, if you would, I believe that all commissioners have now received a copy that there is an ethics complaint against me, and that will be rolling around. It is public record now. I've sent an okay to the commission to release whatever public records there might be. A commission complaint was brought up against me by another commissioner. I will be more than happy to give you a copy of the complaint as we go through. If you have any questions, I would direct that to the legal department. So there is that. I would like to also thank city staff for an amazing, amazing job that you guys did on the lights, on all of our Christmas celebration. Parks and Rec, you did it again. The whole city staff did a fantastic job. So I would like to thank you very much for all of your hard work, continuing hard work, getting us through the holiday season. That's all I have. Thank you.
So do we have a consensus on putting the partitions back up? The partitions were originally put up during COVID for more of protection. It wasn't a, oh my gosh, this person's going to spit on me. It was, we were told to be 6 feet apart, and we went from the floor to be back up here because people couldn't see us and have enough room. We went that route. That is also why the barriers went up. The barriers did not go up originally because we were like, we wanted to keep people away. They were put up for COVID reasons. So is there a census to put the partitions back up here between the desks?
Yes.
Commissioner Burbank.
I like it better this way. It's easier to communicate.
McCool.
Yes.
Colwell. Jody Lee. Commissioner Velasquez? With them down? And Jody Lee, you wanted them up or down?
Makes people more comfortable with all the current colds and stuff, and flu's coming back on, and put them up.
And I'm actually get concerned as well with, flu season, and they've already said that we're going to have an uptick this year. So can we get the partitions put back up here? I don't think they're worried down there about, them. So thank you. Commissioner Jody Lee, you had comments? Or you had report?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I'll try to make them quick. I don't know if that's going to work, but one of the things I want to ask a consensus is we can direct the city manager or something. There's a whole lot of outside contracting going on in this city with a lot of different people and different this and that. We need to do something where we can get it where any contracting we're going to do out of the city, we need to look at people that work in this or live in the city, own businesses in this city, and give them all first dibs, instead of having contracts through companies out in Lake Mary or Winter Park and Tampa. If there's people around here, I know there's a thing in there they have preference, but you look at a lot of the different budgets and things, and there's contractors from all over the place, but I think we need to have a consensus where people around Deltona should get first dibs on getting work that's done in our city, instead of hiring big corporations that have nothing to do with our city. They just want to take our money and run. I mean, people that live in this city or have businesses that live in this city, they're going to be more apt to get the job done and get it done in a timely manner because they have a lot invested. They live here. And I guess we need a consensus to get something like that done. I just think it's fair to the people that live in the city and are invested in this city.
So, and I'll turn this over to the city manager. Generally, what cities have to have is they generally have a registered database that the individual companies have to register with the different cities, because they do have to verify that they're licensed, insured, bonded, credible. And I'm pretty sure the city has that, but I'll turn that over to Mr. Chisholm to answer.
I haven't reviewed the purchasing requirements at this point, but there is a way to do it so that you grant extra points to a local business versus a business outside, but it's done in a way that it's applied fairly across the board to anybody, whether it's with the city or outside.
Right.
But if there's a way to do it. I've done it before, so we'll put something together and see if it works.
So we have consensus on this, everybody, correct? Yes. Mr. Burbank? Commissioner McCool?
Yes. Thank you.
Caldwell? Thank you. Thank you, City Manager, for taking care of that.
Not done yet. I can't even think of it. There's another one I want to make. I want to make a motion. I want to rescind an ordinance that was put together for food trucks. I asked for the food truck ordinance. I couldn't find it offhand. I don't know if this is the number, the 03/2022. It must be ordinance number 03/2022. That was a food truck ordinance our last city manager put in place basically to go after small businesses in town. The state already has an ordinance saying you can't just stop food trucks. You can make some extra rules, but I think it's unfair that small businesses in town, and if everybody doesn't know, I used to do food trucks a lot at the business that we own, and I no longer well, I still own it, but I no longer run that business, so I won't be doing it. But it's unfair that someone that owns a business on one side of town can't have a couple food trucks without going through all these jumps and hoops, but then our city can do the same exact food truck events when you're telling small business owners that they can't do it. I mean, it's kind of asinine. You tell people that want to try to make a living they can't do it, but yet the city does it on city property. I mean, I don't get it, and I'd like to make a motion to rescind that food truck ordinance. I spoke to the city manager about it before, and but I'd like to make an ordinance to rescind ordinance number 03-2022.
Okay. We have Mr. Burbank, were you off? Commissioner McCool?
I would like to see if there have been any complaints by any food trucks since we put the ordinances in place, because what we put in place was about life and safety and not restricting free enterprise. So I would like to understand if anyone, because I visit food trucks frequently and I've not heard one complaint over what we've done. That's me. I don't get out as much as, but I'm just saying that I haven't heard a complaint.
Would you be opposed to a workshop on this?
I'm not opposed to it, but we all know, like last complaints, that there was a previous administration or previous people in City Hall that if you said something, code enforcement was used as a tool to go after you. I mean, if anybody remembers before I got elected, I came to the podium and I have a video and audio of our previous city manager saying, I'm going to make an example out of you for not listening to me. That's some BS. I mean, that's going a little bit far. And we know that's why a lot of people didn't complain, because of the aftermath and the fallout if you came to the city to complain.
Commissioner Burbank?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I am in agreement with Commissioner Jody Lee in my heart, but I don't think that this is something that we should take up right now as a motion item. I think it should be a workshop, but I agree that the ordinance does need to be fine-tuned, and I also agree that it does in some way grant the city privileges that it doesn't grant other private industries, other private property owners. So yeah, I would be more than happy to workshop this one.
And I believe according to our policies and procedures anyway, an item of this, we do need to table it, workshop it, and we're not allowed to vote on something that would require, additional time and work. Yeah. So are you okay going forward with a workshop?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that.
Okay.
As long as we can get it done, because, like I said, also, most of the people that own these small businesses, these food trucks, are also minorities. So all we're doing is hurting them also. So.
Okay. So do we have a consensus to get a workshop on the food truck ordinance?
I'm in.
Commissioner Burbank, Commissioner McCool, Caldwell, Jody Lee, Villa-Vasquez. Okay. Can we get, when you have it available, workshop on the ordinance for the food trucks?
Absolutely. And if you like, I can bring some samples of others that are out there that might be more workable.
I think that's great. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Anybody else? Okay. City Attorney comments?
No, ma'am.
City Manager?
Yes, ma'am. I've got a couple items that we've been working on. One is the legislative delegation has a meeting coming up on January the 9th, and I have circulated to you various projects totaling $97 million as they requested that we provide information to them. I provided it to you. Please look at those. And if you have any comments, suggestions, or ideas about any of those or any additional that we have not tackled, please let me know, and we'll try to report that. Second thing is you had asked for us to do letters of interest for attorneys. I've got a draft that I have circulated to you, and both of these documents would be out this week. The legislative delegation piece has already gone to the delegation because it had to be in to meet their agenda purposes. The ROLs are our own making, and I'm ready to move forward with both those items if that's your pleasure.
You also had circulated, they recirculated today the search. Do you want to cover that as well as what you need?
Yes, I circulated what I had. I circulated the same document on, I think it was November the 1st or somewhere around there, 1st or 2nd, and I just wanted to get it back to you so you saw what it is. It is a document that it lists the previous solicitation of professional firms to find a city manager for the city, and it ranked them, and I think the 3 that were ranked should be in that package, and I'm not sure it's there, but if it isn't, I'll need to get it to you. I also have the scoring document that was used at the previous commission, scored those companies. All 3 of those are qualified companies, and to expedite the process, I suggested you authorize us to go forward so that we could move the program.
Can we put this on the January 17th agenda and make sure that the commission has everything that they need to read through those existing firms officially in an agenda packet and have an official vote on it at that meeting for the search firm? Is everybody good with that? Okay.
Okay.
City Commission comments. Commissioner Caldwell, you want to start? He's always so quiet. Commissioner Jody Lee.
You should have said something. I think that was just. Mr. Chisholm, you're just talking about the search for the city attorney, right? That's what we're referring to?
Both. City manager.
Both? City manager. Okay, that was my biggest thing was about the city manager. I better get it all going because I know people keep asking about what's going on, so I just want to make sure that's it. I don't have too much. I don't want to cause too much trouble. If you want me to, I got plenty. I could just. I'm trying not to cause trouble tonight, so my wife dressed me up pretty, so I don't want to ruin it.
Commissioner Villa-Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a comment to one of the questions that came up from one of the residents on Lakeshore Drive. I believe at the last meeting, the manager, you gave an update on it, on what was going on. I think that Glenn also gave an update on it, but hopefully, I know there was more studies being on. Hopefully in the next meeting, we can have more information to give to the residents, unless you want to add something to it now.
Just briefly, our consultants have been working together to look at options, and we've not met back with them. Obviously, the holidays had a lot of people busy. But we will do that and try to get a report back to you as to the status of that project. We're just as concerned as the residents are.
Okay. And then the other thing I just want to say to the fire department, what a great job they did with the toy drive. I think they have probably 40 boxes to give out to the children of the city of Deltona. And they go by application, and every item that's requested in that application, they purchase it. So I want to give a big shout out. I know I was there. Commissioner Jody Lee was there also. I don't know if I saw you lifting any boxes, though. And I just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy and blessed new year. And thank you for all those of you who have been here.
Commissioner McCool?
Yeah, I'm going to shut up tonight.
Commissioner Burbank?
Thank you. It's the holidays. He hit that button. Lakeshore Drive, you hit that button. I had to make a phone call myself to find out what was going on Lakeshore Drive, not because I'm Well, because I'm a citizen, I wanted to go right down Lakeshore Drive, and I saw some improvements being made out in District 1 at a couple of intersections, and I called staff to ask what that was about. I'm thinking that now the holidays are over, we may have some time to bring our website maybe up to speed. We don't really need to know where the Christmas parade is going to be anymore, and put maybe projects that the public may find interesting, and maybe even put projects on there from Planning and Development Services staff where, we got an applicant for a new 7-Eleven here, or an applicant for a hospital here, or something like that. Give people something to read while they're on our website. Thank you.
Great. All right, well, I just want to thank everybody again for coming in. I have no additional comments. There's nothing else. Meeting's adjourned.